our first day back after our little break. So usually after a break, I just assume that we're starting from square one. No memory whatsoever of what we did. I know that's not true, but we'll pretend that it is for a while. So let's just do some circles. Looking over there. All right, this is the Xingyi Neigong set. I know you know that already. So this is the slightly shorter of the two, but it has many of the same attributes and many of the same qualities as Tiangan, celestial stem set. I tend to toggle back and forth between the two, as you know. So that same feeling we're always talking about, when we do the side-to-side motion, that feeling that the arms are allowed to come to rest, like resting on a table. So once you get the idea of what the given exercise is asking of you, in this case, you're being asked to make circles. Once you kind of have that in your head that that's what we're doing, then you can start focusing on the other aspects. The main one of which is this, that you have that feeling that the arms are at rest. Everything is, heavy. And then all kinds of interesting things start to happen the more you get into that. But the most, I think, visible or accessible thing is you're going to notice your center starts to engage very directly with your arms, and you'll notice that your shoulders will, as a result of that, I guess, the shoulders are going to start to relax more, become looser. They'll also start to drop. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Sometimes when we do these in class or in a classroom setting, people will ask me, so what are you thinking about right there? Well, that's pretty much what I'm thinking about. Just the heaviness, the connections, and also paying attention to what I'm always telling you guys, paying attention to the arch in between the legs and making sure that arch remains viable at all times. It never collapses inward, so you never let your knees collapse in. But that, by now, I'm sure that's second nature to you. And I'll go both ways. Hands go a little bit above the head, maybe, not too far. And that, again, is another thing that encourages you to keep your shoulders relaxed at all times. Then this sort of kind of seamlessly transitions into the next one, which is the Jade dragon movement, weaving around the body. So this one is, again, very conducive to that image of resting your arms on something and just kind of sliding it across the table, using your waist connection to pull that stuff over there. So this is the kind of movement you can throw quite a few reps at it and have it be a productive experience, because every rep that you do mindfully, paying real close attention to all the various things that are happening, each revolution of this is going to teach you something that you may not have known before. And that kind of stream of information will surprisingly continue for a long, long time. I mean, I've been doing this for like 100 years, it seems, and it's like I still get little flashes inside there like, oh, I didn't know that. Look at that. So it's kind of a self-replicating pattern. Okay, so then I'm going to reach under there. I'm just going to kind of rest my hand under my arm there, kind of monitoring my pectoral muscle in a way, as well as just kind of getting that arm out of the way and tucking it out. I'm just trying to keep that muscle from engaging so it's real soft. And I think what you want here is just that feeling that your arm is relaxing, it's real heavy, it's just like you're swinging a rope. And just observe what the body does. You know, once you made that, you know, the main distinction or that main idea that you're working with, in this case, you know, I want to make my arm feel heavy, like I'm swinging a rope, and then I just want to observe what are the side effects of that distinction. Then you're going to notice things are happening with your legs. I notice it in the ankles, that there's a rotational, like a spiraling force coming up from the ground. And if I keep my ankles nice and relaxed, but not floppy, but if I just stay relaxed, same thing with the knees, same thing with the hips, everything just sort of freely relates to this big weight swing in here. And it creates kind of a counter movement, a counter rotation. And I'm seeing what kind of breathing pattern is being just naturally suggested by the movement, and I'm just trying to, you know, go along with it. There you go. Reverse. We're in the small room today, do you notice? We're simulating someone's tiny apartment. See, I'm watching myself in the monitor here, and I'm taking note of how far that hip kicks out. Okay? I don't want it to do that, but if I don't pay attention, it will. Because, you know, chaos is the nature of everything, right? So if I don't pay attention to the structure of all this stuff, it has a tendency to leak out, and I'm just paying attention to that, right? I'm just trying to stay inside my shoes, stay in my feet, stay rooted in the ground. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's go this side. And reverse. Let the weight of that thing fall. Good. All right. Now you bring your feet together. And this is the one where we touch the hands on the top, then clap your hands on the bottom behind you. And you have a big stretch. All of your fascia, all the connective tissue, you're going to pull it tight by imagining you're standing on a giant rubber band. You're going to pull the rubber band with your hands. Stretch your spine. You're going to pull until there's no slack left, and you're going to keep it like that. Pull the rib cage on one side, bend the hip on the other side. But maintain that feeling of stretching and extending all through this movement and all through the next movement as well. Okay, now pull your backside like you're trying to touch your butt to the back wall and keep reaching out with your hands. Reach as far as you can. And then when it's time to come up, lift from the crown. So the top of your skull goes up first. And pull your elbows down toward the floor. Now just let the arms hang. Fold from your hips. Let your head hang. Relax your neck muscles. And feel your lower back open up, pulled by the weight of the body. And then you can just hang out there for a minute or so. Then gently turn to the sides. Okay, now when it's time to come up, you always squat down first. This is going to be easy on your back. Now, lift the top of your skull again, crown of your head lifting as you inhale. Exhale, take a step. And there's the twist. So we're going to hold that position for just a second and then initiate the rotation back by turning your head. The body wants to follow the head. And we're returning to the shoulder wide stance, the checklist position, the ready position. So we're going to do the head turning, but prior to any movement, if you can go through the checklist and create that internal sensation that you're pulling, as they say, pulling silk, keeping the slack out of your tissues, focusing on the down aspects, the sinking aspects, at the same time as you focus on the pulling aspects at the crown of your head, then your whole body, internally speaking, is going to feel like it's being gently stretched all along its length. Then when you turn your head, that will affect the whole body much, much more directly than if you didn't do that. And I'm going to pass through the middle. Everything's neutral. And I'm going to crank it to the side. So the basic strategy for these is the same as before. We're going to hit the position where we feel we're being stretched as far as we can go. Then hold that position. Take a breath in. And then breathe out as you pass through the middle, the neutral zone. Turn. Breathe in. Let's do one more. Okay, now look up. Okay, now when I pass through the middle, I'm going to remind myself to pull that string attached to the crown before I drop the chin. That one little thing is important. So before you look down, stretch first, pull first, then look down. Good. All right, feet together. Shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Press. Okay, so if your left hand goes up, all your weight is on your right foot. So if you feel that you're lifting a little bit of weight, if you imagine a little weight resting on your palm, that whole weight feels like it's squishing down on the opposite leg. It's pushing the leg. It's squeezing down. Oh, good, good, good. All right. Massaging the palm. Okay, this next move is to clear the lungs. You notice every time we mention the lungs, the movements always look like this. Right? Like we do in the 10-gun set, we do something that looks like this. We call it the dragon form sometimes. This is another lung movement. So all those things have this in common, the so-called dragon energy, which just means you're lengthening the spaces between your ribs, the intercostal spaces. When you breathe in, they go like that. And then when you breathe out, they go like that. So that action is said to be very beneficial for the health of your lungs. So this one that we're doing is like a double version of that. So it's like a super super lung movement. So not only do we have this signature action, right, which is the stretching and lengthening of the rib cage and compressing it, we also have this opening and closing thing going on, not just down here, but also up here. So it's quite, there's a lot going on here. So there's also this vertical aspect because you're crouching down and then coming up, crouching down and coming up. So there's a method to that as well. So when you go down, you're going to bring your elbows together if you can. You don't have to do that, but if you can reach there, if you can squeeze that far, that's fine. If not, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm sitting down, folding my hips. All right, so if you look at it from the side, it looks like that. So it's like you're kind of sitting down on a low stool. You know what I mean? So you don't want to do this. So you never want to do that, right? Because that's just bad. You always want to put your butt back. That's a proper squat. So among other things, we would like everybody to, embrace the proper squatting form because it's going to take you a long way. So the bottom end of this is me squatting down, folding the hips, and also spiraling the elbows together. So you got this drilling. That's what this means right here, this drilling action. So And I'm going to push my feet into my fingertips. It's like I'm trying to push my fingers up to the ceiling by pushing with the feet. So when you're doing this part, you're inhaling. Inhaling. And you're going to reach your full extension, right? And when you reach your full extension, you're going to reach even further by rising up on your toes, lifting your heels off the ground. Yeah, like that. If you can do that safely, if you have balance issues, skip that part, because I know that some people feel a little lightheaded up there. So you can modify this to any level. I'm kind of doing the more the full movement when I'm doing it on a Zoom. But if anybody needs modifications for any of these movements, just give me a shout out, and I'll be happy to do that. But the full movement is rising up on your toes, lifting your heels. This is the top of your inhalation, right? Then when you exhale, you drop your heels to the ground and you bring your hands sharply down. Okay, so that quickly compresses the rib cage. It kind of causes some intra-abdominal compression as you exhale like this, and it's kind of a ha type thing, right? So it's in, X. Now, traditionally, that one is done 7 times, so we're not allowed to do another one, so that's it. Okay, now we're just going to tap up here. We're just going to tap. Okay, then hold your kidneys. And you can widen your stance for this one because we're going to make a big circle with the pelvis. Exactly. Reverse. Oh, good. All right. Hands on the knees. This is actually a half circle, and then it goes the other way. Okay, here comes a squat. Okay, and when I get to the bottom of this, I'm going to do exactly what I did the last time when I had to come up from the squat to a standing position. I'll lift my crown first, look up, and then let the head lead me up, and that's going to save my back a little wear and tear. All right, I'm grabbing the chair. Should we do that hamstring stretch? Yeah, whoa. Not sure about that chair. It'll hold up for the duration of this class, I'm sure. All right, this one is the one where you kind of sit in side saddle on the chair just for, I think, safety purposes so you don't slide off. One leg is straight, the other one is bent. And then you pull your toes back. I've seen people do this with those, like a belt or something, one of those rubber exercise things, and you sort of wrap it under your foot, and that can help too. If you don't want to go through this whole thing of the elbow thing. But this is very traditional, pointing your elbow at the toe and sort of urging that distance to shorten. You don't have to literally touch your elbow to your toe, but that's the idea. So you're just going to, again, fold your hip until you feel the slack coming out of your leg, and then I have to emphasize, don't bounce when you get there because there's no advantage to it. Just go slow and steady until you reach your comfortable limit. Once you reach that, just hold it there. Just hang out there and breathe. Try to breathe into the hamstring, and just try to persuade it to relax and soften. And you might go through 3 or so cycles of breath. And every time you exhale, you might feel it loosens up a little bit more without any effort on your part, certainly. And when you're done, push your heel into the floor, and that'll flex that muscle. And again, that'll kind of protect you as you come back up. Okay? Let's try this side. Oh, I forgot this part, huh? Massage the knee. Massage the knee. Okay, and then before I go there, I always remind myself to, that part, that touching base with that hanging feeling. Then when I toss my arms up into the folded position, when it gets there, it's more relaxed. So if I can start more relaxed, it really helps me when I get down to here. See, that makes a difference. And then again, just hold it there. Breathe into it. Okay, push. Good. All right. Now we're going to do something for the inside of the thigh. So this is straightening the leg out this way. And this is the one where you reach out by kind of leaning towards your hands, where your hands are pointing, kind of leaning that way. Close your fist, grasping something like a rope or 2 ropes, and then pull by leaning back the other way. So the arms are doing very little. They're just kind of grasping and connecting. It's the body that's doing everything, right? Inhale as you reach, exhale as you pull. Great. Go this way. Very good. All right, let's square up here. Okay, feet flat on the floor. Keep it about hip width. Lower legs perpendicular if possible. A lot of it depends on the chair, I know. Okay, and again, maintaining that space between your knees like a little balloon here is kind of gently pushing your knees out. Okay, so you should be able to perform the checklist in any position, seated or standing at this late stage of the game. So if you're sitting down, the bones you're sitting on, those two bowl-like protuberances on the bottom of your butt, those are the ischial tuberosities. So you're sitting on those, and those become the surrogates for your feet. So that is your connection to the earth and all the energy that comes through there. So this is your connection to the ground, is your sitting bones on the bottom of your pelvis. So we're going to lift the crown from those 2 points rather than the feet, right? So from the bottom of your pelvis, from your tail, you're going to lift the crown, relax your chest, soften the shoulders, tuck your chin in, create some space under your arms like golf balls. So that's just like if we're doing the standing position, it would be the same thing. So all of your seated stuff will follow the exact same rules. So we do this final movement, the opening and closing movement at the end of the Xingyi Neigong. So we open, inhale, close, exhale. Okay, and then at the end of that, close your fists again, softly. Relax your elbows. Let them come back to the body. Open your hands. Inhale. Exhale. Now, very good. Now, since you've reached the formal ending of that set, right, this would be the appropriate time to just, if you did that standing, just stand there. If you did it sitting, you can stand or sit. It's up to you. But if you just want to stay seated, that's fine. Just stay like that. But maintain those postural relationships if you can. Right? So when you get done with it, don't just let everything just kind of collapse now. I'm exhausted. Yeah, just try to maintain your structural discipline there, and it'll pay off. So maintain that. Because even though you're sitting still, you're still practicing here. Okay, and then when it's time to get up, go ahead and fold your hips. Bring your head forward. The weight goes down to your feet. Okay. And then your Guang form would start from there. But I do want to review with you, since it's been a couple weeks since we saw each other, I do want to review the Sun style at least a couple times. So water break. All right, so let's rock the Sun style. So I'm going to set up on this side. So this is your opening position, remember? Heels together, toes apart, the feet form a little V shape. And your first official act is just to shift your weight to that left foot, pick up the right toe, and then close that V shape so that you're looking 45 degrees to your left corner here. Tucking in the robe is rising, falling. Step, touch softly, shift your weight forward, extend the hands, half step. Okay. So that's finished. Now we're going to start lazily tying the coat by dropping the back heel down and shifting the weight to it. Picking up the right, all right, that would be your left toe, wouldn't it? Picking up your left toe and then rotating the pelvis and toe, carrying the hands and arms around in a circle. Turn the palm up. And half step. That's lazily tying the coat. Again, put the left foot down, shift the weight back. Pick up the right toes this time. Now, if you turn your pelvis, the toe comes with you. That carries the hands back to the center of the chest. You might hear me say the phrase, keep your eye on the ball. I say that a lot. What that means is as the hands come back to your chest, you're keeping your visual focus on this little space between your hands, i.e. the ball. So you're keeping your eye on the ball. You're going to watch it all the way in to there. And then for the next gesture, you're going to continue focusing on that spot as you open, inhale, separate the hands, and then close, exhale. So that's the characteristic, that's one of the signature moves of the Sun style, is this opening and closing gesture you get at the end of every little sequence. So that tells you you're at the beginning of another one, which is single whip. Turning your head, looking at your right hand. Okay. Now drop the right arm. Bring your legs together. So at this point, let me get back here a little bit. At this point, the back of your left hand is near your forehead. Like you're shading yourself from the sun, but don't put it in front of your eyes. The other one is just hanging, right down the center. So for white crane cool's wings, just lift the right arm, lower the left. And as the back of your right hand gets there, take a step with your right foot. Bring your hands down to the center of the chest. Continue shifting your weight. Half step, parallel half step. Okay, now here comes open and close again. Open, close. Very good. Brush knee twist step. Now this is going to come close to your ear. When it does, take a step. Brush knee twist step. Followed by strum the lute. Okay, now here comes 3 steps. 45-degree toe out. It's a twisting stance. You can do it again. 45-degree toe out. Twist. Now the final step. There's 3 steps. Turn your hands over. Step. Close your fists. Shift your weight. Half step. Step back with your right foot. Uncross your hands. Step and push. Keep your eye on the ball. Comes back to your chest. Open. Close. All right, we're almost done. That's 2 sections. Here's the third. Brush knee twist step, going the other way. Okay, now from this position, I have to do this. Reach out. Okay. So this move happens a lot, right? You're reaching out, the reaching hand is palm down, the rear hand is palm up. You're going to see that shape happen a lot, right? It can happen at any time, but in this case it's going to happen from here. Right? while the hands are still kind of moving away from you. If you can step back while they're moving away, then you're going to create this nice feeling of full body stretch that we covet, you know. So you reach out, step back. Okay. See how the two things went in opposite directions? This went out that way, the leg went the opposite way, so you get this feeling. And notice too, to preserve my root and balance, I had to kind of automatically sink a bit when I did that, right? So I'm sinking on that front leg, stepping out with the back one. That's you know, super Tai Chi stuff there. There. Okay. Now just let your weight just fall to the back, and that's going to give you all the power you need to pull this thing. That's all you need. Then it reaches the bottom of the arc. And then they start to bounce back up again. Step. Now here's a repeat of the tying the coat. That's it. Come back. Okay, let's do that whole little section. This is section 3. Let's just do that together because that's probably the foggiest because it's the newest one you learned. But this one's not too difficult, is it? Brush knee twist step, ward off, roll back, press, tie the coat. Ah, very good. I think if we do it one more time, you will have mastered it. Okay, let's try it one more time. Notice when I throw that thing, notice I'm looking at it. I don't want to start turning my head too soon. So I'm going to wait until it starts to come back. Now you can turn your head, it's fine. Soft push, let your body do all the work. Reach out, grab that rope. Pull. Press. Roll. Open and close. Okay, so however many times you're going to do that, you get to the end of your practice. I think you know where I'm heading with this. You're going to go to this. Just stand there, right? This is the easy part. It's also the really hard part. It's hard to just stand still. I think you know this, right? So just stand still. Feel all that blood or chi or whatever it is circulating through you. That's the whole point of it, right? You're going to feel that. If you did a good practice, especially if you did a good practice, a mindful practice, you get to this position, that's when you're going to start, you know, feeling some heat in certain places maybe, or not. It's fine. You might feel some tingling. Your hands, your feet might get hot. And those are all good signs. Yeah, there you go. All right, now let's do the Guang Ping form. So again, starting exactly like we did in the Wuji position, when we do the stationary Guang Ping form, which you guys know well by now, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to split to the side. Okay. So starting from Wuji position, drop your weight to the right leg, step out with your left. Let yourself settle into the middle. And voila, you're in checklist position now. Okay. So you are under no obligation to immediately start your Tai Chi set. Once you hit that, you can just relax and enjoy that feeling of unity. Try to find that feeling of stillness inside you before you start. And then once that happens, then the whole body connects as you inhale, exhale, and the form has officially begun. Very good. That's the official end. Back to Wuji. Inhale, Qigong. Hope you were hearing music in your heart on that one. I usually do this one 3 times. And last one, look up, inhale, exhale, touch your heart. Inhale, rise slowly. Very good. You did it. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. All right.
Next week. Have a good party. Yeah.